Hey, welcome back. In the last session, we have discussed about the container, and we have discussed the types of container as well. Okay, we have seen the bean factory and application context container, but we haven't created an object yet. We have seen the implementations as well. We haven't created an object. So in this tutorial, I have created this object for the application context container. Like you as we are discussed, like we discussed. So we if we want to like if you want to work with XMLs, then we have to use this class path XML application context. If we are working with annotations, then we will go with the annotation config application context. Right, object creation. So application context, some object equals to new class path application context. Here we have to provide the Spring configuration file name. Like if you're using the job-based annotations, then the same way application context equals to new annotation config application context, and here you have to provide the configuration class. Okay. So now after this, so we have completed with the container, and let's go to the bean. Okay. So what is exactly a bean? Okay, a bean is nothing but a class which is having some properties with setters and getters. So let me give you a quick example of the bean. Okay, let me write a simple example on this one, then it will be better for you to understand in a better way. Okay, fine. Okay, so I have written a bean example. Okay, so I have taken a class called person. So it is having some properties: first name, last name, mobile number, present address, permanent address, and some setters and getters. As I have explained you, I have taught you the definition of the bean, a class which is having some properties and some setters and getters. Okay, so that is nothing but a bean. So now we have to provide this information, provide this bean information to one file, so that we are storing all this bean information into the one file. So that is the file is configuration file. So the configuration file is capable of storing all the bean information into it. Okay, so let me see the configuration file. Let me write a simple syntax on the configuration file, and I'll explain you what we are going to write in a configuration file. Okay. Okay, fine. I have written a small skeleton of the configuration XML file. So in the configuration XML file, you can see this root tag, right? So beans. So in this beans root tag only, we have to provide all our bean information. For example, if you see here bean ID, ID, we can say name as well. Okay, so we can give anything. So ID or name we can use. Okay, so here we have to provide the object name. So bean id equals to object name, and class equals to, so what is our class name? For example, person. So you have to provide the person. So now next property. Yeah, now we have configured this class. Now we have to configure these properties, right? So for the properties, to configure that properties, we have a property tag. So property name equals to property name. For example, here our property is first name. Okay, so we'll write the property name, and we can assign a value, like for example, for first name we'll give some Mohan, something like this. Okay, so for last name we can give Venkat, something like this. Okay, so we can give, yes, we right, these are the normal fields we can understand easily, normal English fields only you can understand easily: mobile number, present address, permanent address, all these things, right? Okay, fine, we will configure all this information in this bean. Okay, under this bean stack. Okay, so if we have hundreds of beans information, of course we'll configure all those information here only, inside this bean stack only. For every class, for example, for this person class we have one bean tag, for employee class we have one more bean tag, for organization class we have one more bean tag, for other bean tags, for categories bean tag we have one more bean class. Okay, so different for different classes we have to create a different bean tag. Okay, you got it? So okay, fine. We'll stop it here only, and we'll see the simple example in the next session. Thank you for watching. Bye.